It appears to me like he's punishing the children because my client brought him back to court for more child support. He's making more money than he ever did. This is retribution for returning to court for child support. And the children shouldn't have to pay the price because Mr. Dusso's angry. He's making more money than he ever made. And I just feel like this is unfair to the children.
President of the Attorney Maria Zagorski representing the plaintiff petitioner Jennifer Crowley Dusso, and Ms. Crowley Dusso is present. And this Zoom hearing, also the defendant, Father Derek Dusso, is also present. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
And the parties have confirmed with Mr. Pratt for the front of the court this afternoon has provided the court with fine recommendation that child support be modified. It appears to be in the nature of an increase that commencing May 1st of 2024, defendant father shall pay child support in the amount of $2,124. It's broken down as.
And there it is, the official recommendation, $2,124 a month in child support. That figure isn't pulled out of thin air. It's carefully calculated based on parenting time, overnights, medical credits, and shared expenses. For Jennifer, this increase reflects Derek's higher income. For Derek, though, it represents a heavier financial burden. But here's the twist. While the math looks clean on paper, the real conflict brews around extras, like medical costs, activities, and most importantly, that controversial band trip. This is where child support math meets emotional drama.
Base support of $2,083, a $13 credit, health insurance credit of $54 ordinary medical for a total of $2,124. It's based upon the plaintiff mother having 287 overnights, defendant father having 78 overnights. Uninsured medical expenses shall be shared as follows. The plaintiff paying 28%, defendant father paying 72%. Further, to recommend that the court order that the father reimburse his portion of their extracurricular activities for the children within 30 days of today's date. But further, finally, that each party shall claim one minor child each tax year as a dependent. Mother will claim Kimberly, father will claim Michael. The children, as noted, have a band trip to Universal Studios. The trip is not mandatory. However, father is paid for the trip out of the same situation for 2020-23, and the parties shall share equally the cost of that band trip. That is recommendation. Ms. Gorski, is this recommendation agreeable with your client this afternoon?
Yes, Judge. I think the 30-day reimbursement is from today for, well, Dad does owe Mom some money, but I think the agreement is just that within 30 days of her providing proof of payment, he will pay. My client's shaking her head no.
He caught up the last year's band payments.
Oh, okay. He doesn't owe her any money.
No, those have been caught up. It's just going this school year going forward.
So going forward within 30 days. Yes. Thank you, Judge.
Okay. Right. With that clarification, Ms. Zagorski, this recommendation is agreeable with your client. Is that correct?
Yes. Thank you.
Right. To Mr. Dusso, good afternoon. Do you understand the recommendation?
I do.
Do you have any objection to the court adopting this recommendation?
I do.
Okay.
Here's where the courtroom tension spikes. Derek flat out refuses to fund the Universal Studios band trip, arguing it isn't a true extracurricular, just a vacation in disguise. And honestly, you can see the logic. If kids aren't performing, competing, or practicing music, is it really band-related? Or is it just a theme park getaway wearing a school trip label? But the mother's side fires back hard, insisting Derek is punishing the children simply because he was dragged back to court for more support. Viewers, what do you think? Is Derek being unfair, or is he standing on principle?
This is not a mandatory extracurricular, or it's not an extracurricular that I agreed to. So in our agreement, it says that for extracurriculars that I agree to, but I have not agreed to this one. This is not an extracurricular.
You're referring to the band trip. Is that correct? The band trip to Universal Studios?
It is a trip that the band takes the kids to go to Universal Studios, but it has nothing to do with band. Last year, I was under the impression that they were going to go and play in a parade or do work camps or something of that nature, and they did not do anything at all with their instruments or anything band related whatsoever.
It appears that the last order by the court, November 14, 2023, it says all extracurricular activities are agreed to shall be paid equally by the parties. Ms. Gorski, if Mr. Dusso does not agree to, I guess what is this a future band trip? Is that correct? Is that later this summer? Or is it in the fall or is it holidays?
Next spring, Your Honor.
Okay, so obviously if Mr. Dusso does not agree to it, he should not have to pay any portion of that.
Yeah, so here's the thing, Judge. The children are in band. That order that you referenced does refer to band camp. That's the summer band camp. My argument to why the trip to Universal should be a part of those agreed upon extracurricular, and just to be clear, Mr. Duso does agree that the children can participate in band, and they have, and he's paid for it. My client just confirmed that he paid the fees that were accrued last year. The camp itself is
$20,600. That's the price tag attached to this trip. For many families, that's a summer's worth of groceries, rent, or car payments. Jennifer's attorney insists the workshops in Florida make this trip educational, tied directly to band. Derek, however, isn't convinced, saying last year's trip had nothing to do with instruments or learning. Here's the bigger issue. When extracurriculars are vaguely defined, they can open the door to financial battles like this. Should a parent be forced to bankroll optional travel, or is child support meant to cover basics only?
$2,600. It's at Universal Studios. The children attend workshops. It is part of the band program. He has agreed that they can be in band. He has paid for it in the past. And it appears to me like he's punishing the children because my client brought him back to court for more child support. Mr. Duso is making more money than he did last year. That's why his child support went up. He's making more money than he ever did. And arguably, I could assert that he should pay 72% of the cost, but the parties have agreed that they share those costs. And it's unfair to the children that he's not allowing them to do this now when he has in the past. This is retribution for returning to court for child support, and the children shouldn't have to pay the price because Mr. Duso's angry.
Well, the fact they're participating in band at school as a extracurricular is one thing, but going to Florida Universal Studios that's certainly.
And there it is. The judge draws a clear line. While Derek can't block his kids from joining band, he's not legally required to fund what amounts to a vacation. The ruling highlights a crucial legal point. Child support covers necessities and agreed upon activities, not every single opportunity that comes along. But here's where it stings. Kids don't see legal nuance. They'll just know their friends are going to Florida, and they're not. And in custody battles like this, perception often hurts more than reality.
And even this recommendation is not mandatory. And I understand even though he paid it last year, it's not required that he paid every future year, Mr. Korski. So the court would not order him to pay that if, in fact, he does not agree to the kids participate.
Said they could go.
The
I'm sorry.
last order says pretty clearly all agreed upon, all extracurricular activities that are agreed to shall be paid equally.
Well, he
Permission to do
does say
so?
that they can participate in band.
He said they could go, he just won't pay for it.
Well, participating in band is one thing. Is it mandatory? Will they be removed from the band team if they don't go to Universal Studios, Ms. Crowley?
No, Your Honor, they won't be removed, but they will be doing like camps while they're there, learning different things. Mr. Duso said that they could go on the trip. He just doesn't want to pay for it.
Well, based upon the last agreement of the parties, the court is hard pressed to order him to pay for it if he is not agreeable they participate in that. That's your only objection to this recommendation, Mr. Duso. Obviously, you're going to disappoint the children if that's your position, and obviously it's going to create problems because mom's going to say, well, I can't afford it, and dad can't help me, and I mean, really, is it? Do you want to create problems for your 12-year-olds? You know what? You know better than the court does if it's important to the children.
Derek's counter is emotional but practical. Why spend thousands for a theme park trip when he can create family experiences on his own terms? But Jennifer's attorney frames it differently, painting Derek as a father who can afford to help but chooses not to. And the judge even throws in a suggestion: why not join them yourself? Derek quickly declines, citing work. That's when this case stops being about numbers and starts being about values. Is parenting about writing checks or showing up for the experience?
Your Honor, we can do other things. Family vacation, perhaps something. Last year, like I said, they went, and all it was a trip for them to go to Universal Studios. Had nothing to do educationally, anything. So it was $2,600, $1,200 that I came out. Missed a couple days of my vacation with them. and
One.
for them to just go to a theme park for 5 days on their own.
Why don't you join them? Have you ever thought of joining them?
No, Your Honor.
Maybe mom can stay home and you can spend that time with the children at the band camp at Universal. That might be a special time for dad.
I've worked, Your Honor.
I'm sorry?
I've worked, Your Honor. And no, then that's
Okay.
another ticket for me also.
All right.
Your
they-
Honor,
they-
I'm heartbroken for these children, and as you can see, my client is as well. He's making more money than he ever made. And I just feel like this is unfair to the children. He can afford it. He makes more in retirement than my client makes in her current salary, and he has another full-time job on top of that.
I'm just looking at the last order, Ms. Sikorsky. Says
But-
any all extracurricular activities are agreed to shall be paid equally by the parties. If he's not agreeable to the band camp, it's not mandatory they participate in that.
But he does agree to band. In fact, that same order says that the children are with him until 2 weeks prior to school, starting on a Sunday before band camp. This is
Okay.
something that he agrees to. It was incorporated.
Is
in a
this part of
order.
band camp? In other words, a band camp is presumably something at school, correct?
It is part of a band program, and they do workshops. I mean,
Okay.
I don't think that the children are punished because a parent can't afford to send them, but Mr. Duso can afford to pay half. It's not even 72%, it's half.
Okay, I know he's opposed to it. So, Mr. LaPrade, we can revise recommendation. Is the remainder of the recommendation acceptable, Mr. Duso?
The remainder is yes.
All right, I guess we can just delete those last two sentences referring to the Universal Studios band trip.
Yes, sir.
They're never gonna get to go on a trip now.
Of course, again, hate to see there's the problem with the kids because mom's gonna blame dad and the kids are gonna have an issue with dad, which is very unfortunate. I don't know how you address that with the children. If they've done it in the past, they're looking forward to it. And most of the other band members are going. I don't know how the two of you as parents are gonna address that.
Your Honor, I would never make this dad's fault with the kids because I go above and beyond to make sure that they don't know what's going on. But my
Okay.
concern is that now because he doesn't have to pay for this, they're only going into 8th grade. There are going to be school trips the next 5 years. There's going to be band trips the next 5 years. So now because he doesn't got to help with this, he's never going to help with any of those. So any trips that they go on is going to have to be 100% out of my pocket.
Don't they have fundraisers? Are the students involved in fundraisers to help defray the costs?
No, not for the junior high band, no.
Right.
I don't know
Well,
about high school. They're only going into 8th grade.
all you can do is delicately suggest to the children to reach out to their dad to see if their dad will help them.
This moment says it all. The judge suggests the children themselves reach out to their dad, appealing not through court orders, but through their voices as kids. That's powerful, but also heartbreaking. Imagine being 12 years old, having to convince your parent to spend money so you can fit in with classmates. It places kids in the crossfire of adult battles, which is exactly what family courts try to avoid. Should kids ever have to beg for their extracurricular opportunities, or should parents bear that responsibility without forcing children to choose sides?
You
He-
can't afford it on your own. And maybe they've got to reach out to dad. Maybe that's the answer. I don't know what to tell you, Miss Crowley.
I just don't think it's fair.
Well, yeah, life's not fair, but that's what the two of you agreed to back in November 2023. I don't think
No,
the
I
band camp is the
understand.
same as a Universal trip,
That-
Studios trip.
It was not the intent that Mr. Duso would be able to veto activities for the children. That was not the intent.
And-
Extracurriculars, yes. So if my client said, hey, Michael wants to play hockey and I want you to pay half, Mr. Duso could say, I don't agree to do that. But these children are in band. If mom said, I want Kimberly to become an equestrian and I want you to pay the farrier and boarding and for feed and for vets, he could say, I don't agree to do that, but not band.
And when he agreed to band last year, back in November when we went to court, they were already planning on going on the trip for last year and he was already making payments on it. So I don't understand why he thinks that this isn't a part of it.
Yeah, I'll put you back our room and you can discuss it further, Ms. Crowley, if you want. I can't tell you why he can't understand it. I can't either. I'm just telling you, the trip to Universal and the course meeting is not part of the school band camp. If that's a local band camp, is it not? They're not
It's
good.
their
They're not
school.
getting on a plane and traveling a distance to another state to participate.
No, they'd be doing workshops there.
I'm sorry. Again, unless dad will agree, then the children should reach out to their dad. Just tell them that you can't afford it. And if that's important to them, they should reach out to their dad and tell them how important it is to their dad. Anything further, Mr. Gorski?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Dusso, give us some serious consideration. I mean, you know better than anyone if this band is important to your children, especially, I guess, some of the rewards they look forward to as being a member of a band is taking some of these trips. So please keep an open mind, and obviously you can always reconsider and help out the children. Maybe the children need to talk with that, Ms. Crowley. That's what the court suggests, but the court's not going to order them to do so, even though they might have done so in the past. The court is not. This is not part of quote band camp. If Ms. Zagorski, if you want to provide some additional information that this is part of band camp, and again, I presume there's some local band activities nearby here in Michigan, or part of the school program, but this is again, it's not a mandatory part of that band extracurricular to travel to Universal Studios, so the court's not going to order father to pay it. The remainder of the recommendation, the court will, however, will adopt. Anything further, Mr. Dusso?
No, Your Honor.
So here's where this case lands. Derek Dusso must pay increased child support, but he won't be forced to fund the Universal band trip. Legally, the ruling is sound. Child support covers the essentials and agreed expenses, not optional vacations. But emotionally, the fallout is real. Mom feels the children are being punished, dad feels he's protecting his wallet and boundaries, and the kids? They're caught in the middle of a tug of war that's more about principle than parenting. What do you think? Should Derek have chipped in for the trip, or was the judge right to keep the line firm? If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.